We're all looking at the same thing. Thank you for joining us for another perspective from the SAG Nasty If Anybody Asks Me podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment. For more videos, please subscribe to the channel.
Times with her twice and she was not there when I went.
What
And the one time, besides counseling guidance.
Right. Okay. So during this time at Heritage, this is what I guess is like, I did see you, but I didn't see you. And so I said, she must have been in the band, in the choir, or some other specialty group that I didn't know about. Like, I don't know, like some kind of club or something like that, that takes people away to one of these wings, and it's choir. So growing up in the Heritage in those years there, you're finishing with choir, but what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to be?
Man, at one point, I wanted to be a pediatrician,
Wow.
but I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't have any insight as to what to do to make that happen. I didn't. And so once we had our those banquets, like our choir banquet,
Okay.
where they recognized the seniors
Yeah.
senior year, and they went down the row of people of us seniors and said, okay, what are you going to do? What do you want to be
Oh,
after you leave
wow.
high school? And I blurted out music teacher.
Wow.
No.
And you don't even know where it really came from.
I think it was because I really didn't know. I thought by that time, I guess, I had started to realize that I sing and I love music. Why don't I just do something with music? And so that's what came out, although being a teacher was not necessarily what I wanted to do. I tried. I started school for teaching. And by the time I transferred to Central, I was like, I don't think I really want to be in a K through 12 classroom. That's not me.
I don't think it's you either. As sweet as you are, you do have a
Oh,
strictness to you too. Like, you're not like, just like our mothers, you're not trying to raise someone
yes.
else's kid. Yeah. I just worked with kids recently in a more formal setting, besides like I did a lot of volunteer work with kids, but I worked in like a formal setting kind of just recently. And I was just like, there's this certain moment, it's like, man, you need discipline, and I can't do that in this environment, and you're just ruining the class and you're making me mad, and I'm tired. So what do I do in this situation? Like, I could embarrass you, even that can get me in trouble. So it's like, what do I do? And like, ignore it and let everyone suffer. They might report you like, he didn't control this wild boy. And it's like, it's really hard, especially as time
Yes.
has moved on. When we were
Yeah.
younger, like, luckily for you, you didn't go to Westdale. They were spanking kids at Westdale still. So
I bet Justin got one of them spankings.
oh, he went to
My
Westdale,
brother.
right? Yeah, he did go to Westdale because he was young enough, right? Yeah, I don't know by even his age they were able to do that,
Yeah.
but he had the same principle, so maybe.
Yeah.
So, but going back to this, I don't know. This was a huge problem for me, and I don't know what that is. Also, again, I don't know, but with Taria, like, you know her too, is like, she wasn't what we would call like stupid, right? Like slow. She's sharp. She's intelligent in that way, I guess, like street smart enough.
Yeah.
But I could see that they hadn't poured any kind of ambition into her. Like, what do you want to be, Taria? Like this kind of question. And how do I help you achieve that goal? And for me, I never knew either. I actually did want to be a teacher, but not for elementary. I wanted to be like a professor, but I had
Yeah.
no idea what that was, how to achieve that. And I had a conversation with Stu, and I was like, I didn't really even know what grades were. Like, no one was checking my grades, and I didn't understand the importance of those. I didn't know what those meant. He's like, how can you not know that? And it's like, I really didn't know because no one was really monitoring my
Mm-hmm.
progress at all. You just kind of went to school, you know? So I didn't do my homework, but I
Yeah.
did really well on my tests and I graduated, you know? But I always wanted to be a teacher still at the same time, but
Mm.
I never really knew the progression to achieve
Yes.
that thing, right? And I think that was always my issue with Heritage. Only issue is that I wish they prepared me a little bit more for what I wanted to do. Even
Mm-hmm.
as an athlete, I'm one of the best in not only the state, but in the nation. Help me get the best out of my athletic abilities for my education too. And I had zero help in that way, only from individual coaches, but not from the school, not from
Yeah.
what do you call that, academic advisor or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
so I could imagine if I wanted to be a pediatrician, I would absolutely have no idea what that means at all, like how to achieve that at all. For example, we take biology class, but you don't really hear
Right.
anything how that's related to, at least back then, how that's related to careers or anything like that. And that was
Mm-mm.
really, I don't know if other schools were doing that, but I felt like that was always a weakness. And the people who did know how to achieve that, they got that at home, you
Yeah.
know, and that was the
Yeah.
difference. And so if your parents don't really know, or if they're too busy, or a combination of both,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I got this high school degree, now what? Right?
I was really taken aback as a senior when whoever this lady was that was my guidance counselor,
Guidance
you were
counselor,
assigned
yeah.
a counselor by your last name, I think.
Okay.
And she seemed nice, she seemed approachable, but she did not seem to care. I feel like I remember trying to schedule times with her twice, or having scheduled times with her twice, and she was not there
Mm.
when I went.
What else
And
could she
and
be
the one
doing?
time,
Right.
besides counseling guidance,
Right.
uh, um, she the one time I did get to engage with her, she seemed, like I said, even engaging with her, she seemed nice, but she didn't really seem helpful. And so I cannot believe that, especially at that time, this school district would allow somebody in their high school that did not know what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
could only believe, or she faked it really well until she made it. I can only believe that she didn't have an interest in helping me see, understand, and counsel me,
To guide you, right?
to
Counsel you,
guide
right?
me.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I really, you can't change the past. I've revisited the past a lot,
I
and
can feel
from
it.
different
Yeah.
perspectives,
Yeah.
and or different areas of my life, and why this might have happened, or what could have been different, had these things been different. And
Mm-hmm.
you can't dwell on that. Can only think about that for so long,
Mm-hmm.
before you have to make a decision to just
Mm-hmm.
either continue to wallow and get deeper and deeper into that, or move on
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and continue on from there, basically.
My experience was even worse, I would say, with the guidance counselor because it was my basketball coach. And you're right, now that you say it was by last name, because Stu also had him as a guidance counselor too.
Okay.
So it had been revealed to me from the secretary at the athletic office. She loved me. And she came up to me one day. She said, "Where are you going to college?" I was like, "What do you mean?" "We like receive recruitment letters like every day for you." I was like, "What do you mean? I've never even seen one." "What do you mean? Like they come every day." I never received any of these. And it was just ironic
Daryl.
that I got this information because a few days later, my basketball coach comes to me and he says, "I need to talk to you." I'm like, "What did I do wrong now?" Because this guy hated me. "What I do wrong now? Like, I've been quiet. Why is this guy messing with me again?" He hands me an open letter that was addressed to me from Saginaw Valley State University. And he tells me that a coach will be watching the game today. It was addressed to me, opened, and this is the only letter I ever received in regard to recruitment letters. He didn't play
Although
me.
many had come.
Supposedly, many had come based on that person's testimony. She said, "You get as many as Stu." And he didn't play me much that game on purpose. And the guy offered me a scholarship, but again, I didn't know what a scholarship was necessarily. I didn't understand how that worked. Again, people don't understand. Like, how can you not know? I didn't know.
You just didn't know. Oh my
I
gosh,
really don't know.
Daryl.
And so he offered that to me. I think he contacted me a few times. Like, I knew I was better than Saginaw Valley State for basketball, but I didn't understand how to go to levels that match me, that I believe match me, in regard to
Mm-hmm.
talent. Because like, hey, this guy at Saginaw High is going to the SEC, like Florida. I
Yeah.
can at least go to like state. I believed I could play at state. Maybe some people disagree, but I believed I could play at Central easily. I thought
Yeah.
Central would be easy for me, and I was like, oh, I should try out, but I was busy with track. But when I went to the office to be guided, he looked quickly through my transcript and he said, "Looks good. Good luck." Looks good. Good luck. It was like 30-second meeting.
Daryl.
Yeah. And so for me, it's like, as an educator, I'm like, realize it's like, those are like these young souls, And I had this dream, this kind of vision almost of like a bookshelf, and on the bookshelf is like all of these like trophies and vases and like plaques, and that's like the child's dreams. You can have any of those, like that might be pediatrician, that might be like
Mm-hmm.
famous singer, famous basketball player, doctor, whatever. But in that dream, there was like this strange, like ridiculous storm. The electricity shut out, and it was like the house was like shaking. And by the time the storm was over, all that was left was one little plaque left on the bookshelf, and everything else had been like destroyed. And I realized for some reason, like that's what it's like if you don't get that guidance. All of those potential dreams that you could have just kind of get broken before you can ever achieve them. And then you have this one thing, which for me was track, which wasn't my first choice at all. My first choice would be basketball and then soccer. I had to choose the
Yeah.
last one that I'm not that interested in, but I'm good at. And it was the last sport of the school year. So I had been offered a soccer scholarship, and I didn't understand that. I've been offered the basketball scholarship from Saginaw Valley State. I think he said partial, and I was offended by that a little bit too. So I don't know what that means, but it sounds offensive. And then something with soccer was off a little bit too. And so then it's like, here's this track scholarship. It doesn't matter if it's full, partial, whatever. It's like, it's all you have in regard to choices, And so you just take that last thing that's left after the storm and you run with it.
Jesus.
So as an educator, I always just look back and I wonder, as you said, like, what is that disinterest when that young person comes in there? It's like they have a full trophy case that they can choose from, and why aren't you like excited to guide that person towards whatever they want off that shelf? Let them pick the one they love the most, and they bring it to you, and you help them and guide them. For example, in your situation, to be a
Wow.
pediatrician. Why not? Why not? And it's not race. That's not a racism problem for me. There's something else in regard to disinterestedness in children in general. I don't think that many people got a good experience out of that. So it's like, why do we have it at all? And I did, it was a 30-second meeting. Oh, looks good. Good luck.
Right.
That's funny you remember that, because yeah, it's good to be able to share that at all.
Yes.
Yeah.